Crash and Burn, the Kristen Stewart story. Kristen Stewart, she's the shorty from Twilight, isn't she? I don't think I've even seen her in a movie since Twilight. That's crazy. I wonder what happened to her, man. Let's get right to the video and see what's going on.
Kristen Stewart, the one-time romantic leading lady, wannabe action star, feminist activist, and arguably the most successful mouth breather in Hollywood history. There was a time long ago, dear viewer, when her star was very much on the rise. She was landing some of the biggest roles in the industry.
Really? Outside of Twilight? I don't remember her for anything other than Twilight.
And well on her way to A-list status, her name being uttered in the same breath as the likes of Scarlett Johansson and Jennifer Lawrence. Stewart truly had it all.
Then again, that was the Hunger Games era, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, at the time, I probably thought that was valid.
The acting talent, the charisma, the beauty.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
Wait, really? Either way, by the early 2010s, she was definitely riding high in Hollywood circles, but fame can be a fickle mistress, glory is fleeting, and success can depart just as quickly as it arrives. And a combination of personal drama, relationship controversies, box office flops, and public meltdowns eventually derailed her career, turning this aspiring A-lister into a bitter, irrelevant burnout, appearing mostly in rambling lolcow interviews in a desperate attempt to stir up controversy. So let's take a look at another
Oh my god, that haircut is atrocious. Jesus. Whoa.
case of crashing.
I don't mean to be disrespectful, but what is this? Yo, that looks crazy.
Burn, the Kristen Stewart story. Stewart was born in Los Angeles in 1990 to parents who both worked in the industry. Her father was a stage manager and TV producer, and her mother a scriptwriter and supervisor. So obviously Stewart found herself drawn into the business from a young age. Her intention was to get into scriptwriting, but when a casting agent discovered her in a school play, she was soon booking small roles in feature films and indie flicks. Her first high-profile role was 2002's Panic Room by David Fincher, playing opposite Jodie Foster. Honestly, I'd completely forgotten she was even in that movie, and yeah, it's not one of Fincher's best works, but it's still worth a watch if you fancy a neat little claustrophobic thriller. By now, her profile was rising, and she was booking starring roles in small but well-regarded movies like the drama Speak and the indie movie Yellow Handkerchief.
I do know this one. Yellow Handkerchief was not bad.
None of them really made any money, but they did establish her credentials as a dramatic actor. But it was 2008's Twilight that would change the course of Stewart's life.
This one of them roles where it's like, it's so iconic in the time, but it's like it was only niche to the time. So I'd imagine this role low-key killed her career, because I feel like when you go back and watch Twilight, it's cringe as fuck. Like, it's not like Harry Potter, right? You go back and watch Harry Potter and you're like, yo, this was good. You know, I understand the hype. I understand why we still love this when we were kids. But you go back and watch Twilight, it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't give that same nostalgia.
Life and career
At least
forever.
not for me.
Based on a cloyingly melodramatic YA series about a vacuous teenage girl with no real personality who falls in love with an equally vacuous but extremely hot vampire. You know, like basically every piece of YA fiction written for teenage girls with main character syndrome. Somehow though, the movie was a massive global hit, grossing over $400 million worldwide and propelling Stewart and her co-star Shovelface.
Y'all was Team Jacob or Team Edward back in the day, man? I was Team Jacob, I'm not gonna lie, bro. You know, at the time, I was in my lover boy phase, you know. I was probably in elementary school at the time, just, you know, got my heart broken a few times, and I felt bad for Jacob. I was like, bruh, show my dog some love, man. Really one of them dolls for all the dolls like Drake and them. Yo, real quick, if you like making money, I need you to watch this part of the video. If you don't like making money, then go ahead and skip it, but that really should be none of y'all. I know you guys have been seeing me promote this new app called Free Cash, and the big talk of the town is
this a scam, Berto? What is this?
Well, look at this guy and this guy. All people from our community that are making money through the Free Cash app. The link is in the description. Even one person from my boy Astro Dior's community made $1,000 using the Free Cash app. I know it sounds crazy, but yes, you can make free money while playing games on your phone. But let me break this down in a very clear way for you guys so you know exactly what's going on. When you sign up for Free Cash using the link in my description, once you're in, you're gonna see a list of games pop up. You download them, you play them, you beat the levels, get to the certain requirements that they tell you to hit. And once you get there, you're gonna get some credits sent to your account. Every single time you hit the requirements, you get paid real money. And they make the process so easy that that you can cash out that money into your PayPal or even gift cards. And yes, it is completely free to use. Now, there are some options where you can spend a little cheese to get through the level faster, but you don't need to do that. The reason why this is even possible is because these games are trying to get new players onto their platform. So they pay free cash to pay you to get people to play the game. Now, I know I showed you a crazy example of somebody making up to $1,000, which it's possible, but realistically, it might take some time. This is just an easy way you can make an extra 10, maybe 20 bucks, just doing something that you guys probably do for free anyway. So if you're gonna be bullshitting on your phone playing games, why not get paid? So if you've been on the fence, this is your sign. Click the link in my description and try out a few games. And when you make your money, take a screenshot and send it to me, bro, because I want to see y'all make that cheese. Because if I'm winning, I want to make sure y'all winning too. I love y'all. Y'all know what to do. Link in the description, and you're gonna get a $5 bonus using my shit. Now let's get right back to the video. Where you at, family?
Sorry, Robert Pattinson to global superstar status. Almost overnight, Kristen Stewart was the hot new commodity in Hollywood, and before you knew it, they were churning out Twilight movies so fast it would make Marvel jealous. It was doing for her what the Hunger Games would do for Jennifer Lawrence a couple of years later, only with more
Now I think about it, all right, I'm pausing a lot, but she really the only one that didn't go crazy, because Jennifer Lawrence went on to do several other successful movies. Robert Pattinson, we just got one of the best Batmans in a while from Robert Pattinson, and we've seen him crush plenty of roles. Damn, bruh. Nah, but Jacob went outside too. I haven't seen Jacob since. I think I might have seen Jacob do a guest star on some Disney Channel bullshit, bruh. Damn. Maybe she need to hit up Disney. Maybe they'll give her some.
Teenage angst and mouth breathing. Seriously, what the fuck's going on with that girl? Does she suffer from lockjaw? Or did she just never learn how to use her fucking nostrils? Anyway, whatever. The Kristen Stewart bandwagon was now rolling at full speed. She was exactly what the industry was looking for. An indie actress who could hold her own in big budget movies. Just interesting and unconventional enough to give the appearance of something new and different, but also just attractive enough to fit into the leading lady molds. Snow White and the Huntsman in 2012 proved that she could do more than Bella Swan, giving us a fresh new spin on the fairy tale, specifically designed for modern audiences.
Yeah, I've never even heard of this one. Y'all watch this?
Where Stewart plays a princess who rescues herself.
Yes, yes.
Remember when that was considered a revolutionary idea? Anyway, the movie was a hit and went on to make almost $400 million against a $170 million budget. Not exactly a stellar return on investment, and I'd argue that Chris Hemsworth
I was going to say Chris Hemsworth in this?
And Charlize Theron did most of the heavy lifting in that movie, but it was still enough to prove her chops as a bankable star. All great stuff, but problems were afoot behind the scenes. See, Stewart had been in a relationship with her Twilight co-star Robert Pattinson since 2009. It seemed like a fairy tale romance, two of the hottest young talents on screen with such amazing chemistry that they ended up getting together in real life. But then in 2012, it all unraveled in spectacular fashion. Stewart was caught cheating on Pattinson with Rupert Sanders, who
You cheated with this guy? Who the fuck is that? He looks like he's balding. Holy. Come on, man. You had the next Batman. These hoes be fumbling the bag, man. Lock in, queen. Damn.
who just so happened to be the director of Snow White, married and almost 20 years older than her.
Damn.
Oh, Kristen, you silly girl, you. The revelations ignited a media firestorm, and inevitably, most of the backlash was directed at Stewart. Overnight, she went from a hot young talent, respected by her peers and beloved by Twilight audiences the world over, to a virtual pariah, hated by everyone. And if there's one thing Hollywood won't tolerate, it's PR liabilities. Big budget, high profile roles quickly dried up, and while Robert Pattinson soon left Twilight behind for bigger and better things, Stewart retreated into low budget dramas and mostly irrelevant indie movies for the rest of the decades. She eventually emerged from the acting wilderness for a poorly judged comeback attempt with 2019's Charlie's Angels, a movie that got absolutely savaged by critics and bombed at the box office. It did spawn one of the best memes about the absolute retardation of movie journalism today, though. 2020's Underwater was an attempt to slaughter into mid-budget.
I wasn't mad at Underwater. I do remember this. I kind of liked this one. Like, if I went to the movie theater to watch it, I would be disappointed. But in the comfort of my own home, streaming it, I wasn't mad at this one. I forgot that she starred in this.
budget action horror territory.
I'm curious to see what he says.
Yeah, she wasn't really a box office draw anymore, but maybe there was still enough name recognition left to forge a second act career as mid-level talent. Horror movies, low budget action, maybe even a move into prestige television. No such luck though. The movie got middling reviews at best and bombed at the box office.
Fair enough. Again, if I paid to watch this in the theater, I'd be upset. But I remember one night, I don't know what made me watch it, and I was like, I'm not mad at this. You know, I had a good time, but I was in the comfort of my own home, in my bed, on my iPad. You know, smooth little watch.
It was clear to everyone that the Kristen Stewart party was well and truly over. Her box office momentum was gone and her public goodwill exhausted. The years that followed were a slow, sad descent into bitterness and irrelevance. She ditched the Hollywood styling and the red carpet dresses in favour of a look I could best describe as meth addict chic, and most of her interviews consisted of increasingly vitriolic.
That haircut, bro. Holy. This haircut is why you're not getting booked for any roles, gang. What's going on with this? Holy.
Rants about feminism and oppression in Hollywood. No, you see, she didn't nuke her own career with bad decisions and personal fuck-ups. It was the patriarchy keeping her down.
Really?
The thing is, you can only get away with shit like that when you're operating from a position of strength and power. When your career's very much on the skids and you haven't had a hit movie in over a decade, it just makes you look sad, bitter and desperate for attention. A washed up, one-time starlet who never quite reached the big leagues, who was dealt a winning hand but somehow managed to squander it, and is now too old and toxic to make a serious comeback. The world doesn't hate Kristen Stewart, it just stopped caring about her.
Damn. Hey, man, I'll say this. I can respect any artist, any creative that's, going out there, putting their work in, and even had a success story to begin with, even if their time in the spotlight is over. So I'm not going to bash her, too hard, but I will say, that bad PR with that little lustful got caught cheating situation definitely wasn't a good look, especially at the time, man. Oh, man, you lead a life of lust, you're gonna get bust.
Where you at, Berto?